It's inevitable that someone watching this will feel like a loser, feel like they're not enough. If we see someone with lots of money, talent, great body, beautiful partner, we often label them as winners. And if we don't have those things, it's easy to feel like total crap, to feel like a loser. But a loser is not someone who has no money, who is overweight, who lives with their parents, who works minimum wage, who plays video games all day, who lives alone with 10 cats, or whatever else we may typically associate with being a loser. In my eyes, you're a loser if you possess any of these 10 traits. Now, before we get into that, I just need to say, if you do possess any of these 10 traits, you're not destined to be a loser forever. After all, we are all human, capable of making mistakes, and it's possible for us all to change our ways. Number one, you're a compulsive liar. I'm not talking about little white lies here and there that don't hold any real significance. I'm talking about deep, manipulative lies. For example, if you've cheated on your partner, somebody you supposedly love. I'm not saying you're the world's worst person if you've cheated previously, but to me, unless you're in an abusive relationship, something you're scared of leaving, there's no justification, and it's something I would regard as unforgivable. I know some people lie to prevent their partner getting hurt, but the truth usually comes out, and it just worsens the pain when your partner inevitably finds out. I believe honesty is always the best policy. Cheaters will often say they are sorry, but it usually means they are sorry they got caught. Number two, you look down on others. You're rude to waitresses, cleaners, retail workers. You think you're above everyone else. There's no justification for this attitude. All jobs serve a purpose, and you don't know the story, circumstances behind that person working the shitty job. You're the real loser here by having this attitude. So if I was ever on a first date with somebody who looked down on the waitress, I would run a mile. Number three, you bully others. So you take it one step further than just looking down on people. Maybe you mock disabled people out loud. Maybe you are really aggressive with online bullying. Maybe you go to Asda, see someone pushing trolleys and shout "trolley boy" at the top of your voice. I mentioned this in a previous video, and as I said at the time, I understand if there's kids, teenagers shouting "trolley boy." I have a sense of humour, but when it's grown men, as it was at the time, a little bit more sad. Most people snap out of bullying after high school, but not everyone. There are genuinely horrible bosses out there, abusive partners, just some really nasty people, bullies, losers. Number four, you blame everyone else. A loser stays bitter and complains their entire life. Yes, some people are dealt a far better hand than others. There's no denying that. Many children experience horrid, abusive childhoods. They turn to crime. It's very easy to understand why. But if you're in and out of prison all of your life, then sadly, you have lost that life. There are still many people with traumatic, underprivileged backgrounds who manage to make something of themselves. They use their adversity and turn it into fierce motivation. So if you have something you perceive to be an unfair disadvantage, you can't use that as a reason to not try and move forward. The world is full of happy and successful, ugly people, people who grew up in poverty, people with awful childhoods, people with disabilities. And when I use the term ugly, you may still be the most beautiful person in the room to somebody else. Also, stop blaming the government for all of your problems. Even if there are policies you're not happy with, the state of the country, the cost of living, there are still usually things within your control that can somewhat improve your life. Most countries have their own set of problems. Number five, you rely too much on others. If you're a grown adult living with your parents, that's fine, but you need to do two things: help out around the house and save some money. If you're not doing those things, then you're just behaving like a child, like a loser. If your partner is at work all day, you're home alone, you need to do some chores, help out around the house. So not just playing FIFA and taking the bins out. This is a relationship. It's a team effort. You're disrespecting your partner by staying at home, playing video games all day. So playing the video games all day is not the problem. That doesn't make you a loser. You are a loser if it's taking over more important things in your life, like your relationship. As for anyone who's claiming benefits somewhat fraudulently, someone who's actually able to work, most of us would regard those people as losers, but then some of us might say, I don't blame them. If they can get away with it, why would you go to work? My view is I've not been raised to sit on benefits. So I think a lot of it comes down to how you are raised. If I'm able to work, but I claim benefits somewhat fraudulently, my parents would be ashamed. It's as simple as that. Number 6, you take but never give. Your partner always makes sure you're fed after you've had a hard day at work, but with roles reversed, you never do the same. Your family always make an effort to come and visit you, but you never visit them. Your friends are always buying you a round of drinks every week at the pub, but you never buy them around. Your neighbours are always taking your parcels in, but you never take theirs in. It's not always about giving just to receive, but nice people generally want to give, at least some of the time. And if you're not wanting to give, then you're probably just a selfish person, and no one likes a selfish person. Number 7, you never try. It can be scary to start something new, to tackle something you know needs doing. But if your gut is telling you to do something, then you owe it to yourself to try. If you don't try, that's generally how regrets are formed. For example, if you wanted a simple, boring life watching Netflix, I wouldn't shame you for that, as long as you're staying happy, healthy, you're not hurting anyone. The problem arises when you say have an urge to go and travel, but it's that fear of the unknown that's holding you back. The fear of flying, different cultures, whatever it may be. If you've got that urge to do something, you need to listen to that urge, or that is how regrets are formed. If you're really overweight, that doesn't make you a loser. But if you're abusing your body, there comes a point where you've just given up on life. You're only a loser if you don't try to cut a few pounds. Because if your self-abuse is resulting in many trips to the hospital, to the NHS, you're putting strain on an already strained service. Number 8, you break the law. Are you a loser if you've spent time in prison? No. It depends on the type of crime and whether you hold any remorse. If you've committed some petty shoplifting crimes, but you've since turned a new page, you've learnt from it, you've grown, then fair play to you. Most of us would agree that certain crimes are largely unforgivable and probably put you not just in the loser category, but scum, evil. These crimes would be murder, rape, unprovoked assault, scamming. Number 9, you don't respect the environment or other people. I'm not claiming to be perfect from an environmental point of view. I still fly once or twice a year, but I'm talking about the people who constantly litter, make no effort to recycle, just generally a complete lack of respect for other people and their surroundings. We all have to share this planet. Some people are just so selfish, whether that's playing music all night when you've got neighbours, parking in a disabled bay when you shouldn't, letting your trolley fly off into someone else's car instead of taking it to the trolley bay. Yes, I am referencing my experiences on a day-to-day basis at my retail job because it's a good representation into how selfish people can be. Number 10, you resent success. We all get a little bit envious sometimes, but if you don't have the ability to applaud someone for a job well done, or you think of wealthy people as evil, then it's a sign that you need to do some self-reflection. Yes, there are people who were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, come from great privilege, but judge them on whether they are a good person and don't assume their life is perfect. There are wealthy, successful people out there who have earned their position, but you've not seen the process to get to the top. You've not seen the hard work, the sacrifice. You only see the final product. This doesn't just apply to resenting wealthy people. You might resent someone with a slightly nicer car, slightly nicer house, goes on a slightly better holiday. We all know comparison is the thief of joy, but that doesn't mean it's not very hard sometimes to compare ourselves and to feel like rubbish. So you're allowed to have bad days. I have them myself, but ultimately all you can do is get on with your own life. Control the things that are within your control. Focus on the things that you've got rather than what you haven't got. Focus on the things that you know will bring you joy. Focus on the things that you know will improve your life. That is all you can do. and probably reduce your social media time a little bit. I think that'll help us all. As always, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.